Have you ever felt like society has already written your story for you? Just because you've reached a certain number of birthdays? Like there's a hidden script telling you what you can and can't do, what you should and shouldn't feel. Simply based on your age, it's a painful reality for so many, isn't it? This feeling that your best years are behind you, or that your potential has somehow expired. You might hear whispers, sometimes from others, sometimes from that little voice in your head, suggesting that it's time to slow down, stop trying new things, or just accept certain limitations as part of getting older. But what if I told you that much of what we believe about aging isn't true at all? What if those limitations aren't written in stone, but are instead built on myths in this video? We're going to uncover 6 common aging myths that are making you feel older than you are, but are completely, undeniably false. We'll look at why these myths persist and why letting go of them can absolutely change your life. You might be surprised by what you learn. Watch to the end for something that will genuinely surprise you and perhaps even change the way you see yourself and your future. Let's dive straight into the first myth that often creeps into our minds and tries to tell us what we're capable of. Or rather, what we're not capable of anymore. This first big one is the pervasive idea that as you age, your brain function inevitably declines, and you simply can't learn new things as effectively, or sometimes, at all. It's the myth that your mind is a fixed entity that starts to fade once you hit a certain age. Like a battery slowly losing its charge, you might hesitate to sign up for that pottery class you've always wanted to try. Or perhaps learning that new computer program feels too daunting, because you think, oh, I'm too old to pick up something new now. My memory isn't what it used to be, and I'm not as sharp. This belief isn't just discouraging. It can be truly limiting. It can prevent you from exploring new hobbies, connecting with others through shared interests, or even keeping up with the world around you, which is constantly changing. You might feel a sense of resignation. Accepting that fuzzy memory or slower processing speed is just an unavoidable part of the package deal of getting older. But here's the encouraging truth, and it's backed by fascinating science. Your brain is incredibly resilient and adaptable, capable of learning and forming new connections throughout your entire life, right into your 80s, 90s, and beyond. This capability is called neuroplasticity, and it means your brain isn't a finished product that starts to deteriorate. It's more like a muscle that stays strong and can even grow when you challenge it. Think about it this way. Just like lifting weights helps build physical muscle, engaging your brain with new information, new skills, or even just novel experiences helps build and maintain those neural connections. Studies have shown that older adults who actively engage in mentally stimulating activities like learning a new language, playing a musical instrument, doing complex puzzles, or even taking up a new skill like painting or coding, show significant improvements in cognitive function, memory, and processing speed compared to those who don't. It's not about becoming a super genius overnight, but about keeping the pathways open and active. You might not learn as quickly as a teenager, and that's perfectly okay and completely normal. Learning in later life often involves integrating new information with a lifetime of experience, which can lead to deeper understanding and unique perspectives. The key is consistent engagement and a willingness to try. So, that pottery class, go for it. Want to learn how to use social media to connect with family? Absolutely interested in studying history or a new language? Your brain is ready for the challenge. Don't let the myth of inevitable cognitive decline rob you of the joy and benefits of lifelong learning. It's simply not true. Your capacity to learn and grow intellectually is still very much alive and waiting to be used. The biggest barrier is often not your brain's ability, but the limiting belief itself. By challenging this myth, you open up a world of possibilities for continued mental vibrancy and engagement. Now, hand in hand with the myth of mental decline, comes another powerful and equally false belief that significant physical decline is an unavoidable and irreversible consequence of aging. This myth tells us that aching joints, loss of strength, reduced mobility, and a general slowing down are just things you have to accept as you get older. You might hear people say, "Well, I'm not as young as I used to be," accompanied by a sigh, implying that this physical decline is a one-way street with no detours or turnarounds. You might feel frustrated that activities that were once easy now feel difficult. Or perhaps you've stopped doing things you love because you believe your body simply can't handle it anymore. This myth is incredibly damaging because it can lead to a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you believe you're inevitably going to become frail and weak, you might stop being active, which does lead to loss of muscle mass, reduced flexibility, and decreased endurance, not because of age itself, but because of inactivity fueled by the belief. The truth is far more empowering. While some physiological changes do occur with age, for example, muscle mass can decrease if not used, significant decline in strength, balance, and flexibility is largely preventable and often reversible, even in later life. Through lifestyle choices, particularly regular physical activity. Think about athletes who continue to compete at high levels into their 50s and 60s, or individuals who take up running, swimming, or weightlifting for the first time in their retirement years and see remarkable improvements in their physical condition. These aren't exceptions. They are living proof that the body retains an incredible capacity for adaptation and improvement. Regardless of age, regular exercise, even moderate activity like walking, gardening, or gentle stretching can make a profound difference. Strength training, in particular, is crucial. It helps maintain and build muscle mass, which in turn supports joints, improves metabolism, and helps maintain balance, significantly reducing the risk of falls. Flexibility exercises keep you limber and mobile. Cardiovascular activity supports heart health and stamina. It's never too late to start, even starting with short, manageable bursts of activity and gradually increasing can yield significant benefits. You don't need to train for a marathon unless you want to, but finding activities you enjoy and making them a regular part of your routine can dramatically counteract the effects often attributed solely to age. It's about staying active, listening to your body, and finding movement that feels good and challenges you gently. Don't let the myth of unavoidable physical decline convince you to sit on the sidelines. Your body is capable of much more than you might think, and staying active is one of the most powerful tools you have for maintaining independence, energy, and a high quality of life as you age. It's about recognizing that perceived physical limits are often due to inactivity or underlying conditions that can be managed, rather than simply being old. By embracing the possibility of physical improvement, you can reclaim activities you love and discover new ones, proving this myth absolutely false. Moving on from the limiting beliefs about our physical and mental capabilities, there's another myth that society often subtly, or sometimes not so subtly, pushes upon us the idea that older people should act their age. What does that even mean? It usually translates into expectations that you should slow down, avoid risks, stick to familiar routines, dress conservatively, and generally dial back your enthusiasm for life. This myth often carries the weight of societal norms and expectations about what is appropriate for someone older. You might hesitate to pursue a new passion, go on an adventurous trip, start a new business venture, or even simply wear something bold and colorful, because you worry about what others might think, or because you've internalized the idea that such things are only for younger people. The painful reality here is that this myth tries to box you into a narrow definition of what aging looks like, stripping away individuality, spontaneity, and the joy of vibrant self-expression. It suggests that as you get older, you should become less visible, less dynamic, less you. But the truth is, there is no single way to act your age because there is no single way to be old. Every individual carries a unique lifetime of experiences, personality traits, and desires, and these don't magically disappear when you reach a certain age. The world is filled with inspiring examples of people in their 70s, 80s, 90s, and beyond who are shattering this myth every day. Think of the artists who are still creating groundbreaking work, the activists who are still fighting for causes they believe in, the entrepreneurs starting new ventures, the travelers exploring the globe, or simply the individuals who are embracing new hobbies, forming new friendships, and living life with gusto. These people aren't exceptions. They are evidence that vitality, curiosity, passion, and a willingness to engage fully with life are not exclusive to youth. The idea of acting your age is really just a societal construct, often based on outdated stereotypes. It's a myth that serves to limit potential and creativity. Your age might influence your perspective, your priorities, or perhaps the way you do things, but it doesn't define your capacity for joy, adventure, connection, or contribution. Embracing your age doesn't mean conforming to someone else's idea of what that looks like. It means living authentically as the person you are, with all the wisdom and experience you've gained, while still being open to new experiences and possibilities. Don't let this myth dim your light or restrict your choices. Your age is simply a number, and it gives you permission to be even more of who you are, not less. Live your life with the energy and passion that feels right for you, regardless of outdated expectations. You have earned the right to define this chapter of your life on your own terms. Breaking free from the mold others might try to cast you in. Following the oppressive idea of having to act your age comes another related myth that can feel deeply disheartening: the belief that you lose creativity and passion as you get older. This myth suggests that the wellspring of inspiration dries up with age, that the desire to create, innovate, or pursue things with intense enthusiasm somehow fades away. It's the notion that creativity belongs to the young, the restless, the avant-garde, and that later life is a time for quiet contemplation and, perhaps, rehashing old memories, but not for sparking new ideas or pursuing passionate projects. You might feel a lack of motivation to start that creative project you've always dreamed of. Or perhaps you dismiss a new interest as just a passing fancy that isn't worth pursuing with real energy because, well, aren't you supposed to be winding down, not revving up? The painful reality this myth creates is a sense of irrelevance and a feeling that your most dynamic years are over. It can lead to a withdrawal from activities that nourish the soul and bring deep satisfaction, leaving a void where creativity and passion once thrived, or could have thrived. But this myth couldn't be further from the truth. Creativity is not a finite resource that diminishes with age. In many ways, it can be enhanced by the unique perspective, wisdom, and wealth of experiences accumulated over a lifetime. Think of the countless artists, writers, musicians, scientists, and thinkers who have produced some of their most profound and influential work in their later years. Age brings a depth of understanding, a nuanced perspective, and often, more time and freedom to explore creative impulses. Passion isn't tied to a birth certificate. It's fueled by curiosity, interest, and a sense of purpose, all of which can be just as vibrant, if not more so, in later life. Perhaps the form your creativity or passion takes might change. Maybe you express creativity through gardening, cooking, mentoring others, or finding innovative solutions to everyday problems, rather than traditional art forms. Maybe your passion shifts from a career focus to a focus on family, community, or a personal cause. The important thing is that the capacity for deep interest and creative expression remains. Engaging in creative activities and pursuing your passions is incredibly beneficial for well-being at any age. It provides a sense of purpose, stimulates the brain, offers opportunities for self-expression, and can be a wonderful way to connect with others. Don't let the myth that creativity and passion belong only to the young stop you from exploring what truly excites you. Whether it's writing your memoirs, learning to paint, composing music, building intricate models, or dedicating yourself to a cause you care deeply about. Your capacity for creativity and passion is ageless. Embrace what moves you, and let your later years be a time of vibrant creation and passionate engagement. And that leads us into another area where aging myths can really hurt the belief that older people become less capable of forming meaningful new relationships or finding love. This myth often paints a picture of later life as a time of increasing social isolation, where friendships are limited to those you've known for decades, and the possibility of new romantic connection is virtually non-existent or somehow inappropriate. You might feel hesitant to put yourself out there, to join new groups, or to express interest in someone because you believe that your chance for significant new connection has passed. This painful reality is the feeling of loneliness and disconnection that can arise when people withdraw socially based on this false belief. It suggests that the need for companionship, intimacy, and belonging somehow diminishes with age, which is simply not true. Human beings are wired for connection throughout their entire lives. While social circles might change due to various life events like retirement, relocation, or loss, the capacity and the need for forming deep, meaningful bonds remain as strong as ever. Later life can be a time of incredible social opportunity, with potentially more free time. You might have the chance to pursue hobbies that bring you into contact with like-minded people, volunteer for causes you care about, or participate in community events. Many people form deep and enriching friendships in their 60s, 70s, 80s, and beyond, based on shared interests, life experiences, and mutual support. And what about finding love? The idea that romance and intimacy are only for the young is perhaps one of the most enduring and damaging myths. Countless stories prove this wrong every single day. People find love again after loss, start new relationships, and discover deep companionship and intimacy in later life. Love and connection are not limited by age. In fact, with the wisdom and self-awareness that comes with experience, relationships formed later in life can be incredibly fulfilling, built on a foundation of shared understanding, respect, and appreciation. Don't let the myth of inevitable social isolation or the impossibility of finding new love hold you back. Your capacity for connection, friendship, and love is ageless. Putting yourself out there, being open to meeting new people, and nurturing existing relationships are vital for well-being and happiness at any stage of life. This period can be a time of expanding your social world and experiencing the profound joy that comes from meaningful human connection. It's about recognizing that, while life changes, the opportunity for connection remains vibrant and open to those who seek it. Finally, we come to the sixth myth that often serves as a barrier to positive change in later life, the belief that you can't significantly change your habits or lifestyle after a certain age. This myth suggests that by the time you reach your 60s, 70s, or beyond, your patterns are set in stone, your habits are too ingrained, and trying to make major changes to your diet, exercise routine, or daily behaviors is either too difficult, too late to make a difference, or simply not worth the effort. You might tell yourself, I've always done it this way, or what's the point now? The damage is already done. When considering adopting healthier habits, dropping unhealthy ones, or pursuing a completely new way of living, the painful reality this myth creates is a sense of resignation and missed opportunity. It can prevent people from making changes that could dramatically improve their health, energy levels, mood, and overall quality of life, simply because they believe change is beyond their reach. But the truth is incredibly liberating. It is never too late to make positive changes to your habits and lifestyle, and these changes can have a significant impact regardless of your age. The human body and mind are remarkably resilient and responsive to positive input. Think about the benefits of quitting smoking at any age. The body immediately begins to repair itself. Consider the impact of starting even a moderate exercise program on strength, balance, and cardiovascular health. Even for someone who has been sedentary for years, changes to diet can improve digestion, energy levels, and manage chronic conditions. Learning new stress management techniques can improve mental well-being. The idea that you can't teach an old dog new tricks is just another variation of a myth that limits human potential. While it's true that some habits are deeply ingrained, they are not immutable. Change requires effort and consistency. Yes, but it is absolutely possible at any age, and the rewards are immense. Making positive lifestyle changes in later life can lead to increased independence, greater vitality, better management of health conditions, improved mood, and a renewed sense of control over your well-being. It's about recognizing that small, consistent steps can lead to significant transformations over time. It's not about perfection, but about progress. Don't let the myth that you're too old to change prevent you from making choices today that will benefit you tomorrow. Your capacity for growth, adaptation, and positive change is lifelong. Embracing the possibility of changing your habits means opening the door to a healthier, happier, and more fulfilling life. Regardless of how many years you've lived, it's a powerful reminder that agency and the ability to shape your future remain firmly in your hands. So, there you have it. 6 powerful myths about aging that simply don't hold up to scrutiny. The myth that your brain inevitably declines, that significant physical decline is unavoidable, that you must act your age by slowing down, that you lose creativity and passion, that you become incapable of new relationships or love, and that you're too old to change your habits. Believing these myths can truly make you feel older than you are, limiting your potential and dampening your spirit. But by understanding that they are false, you reclaim your power. You open yourself up to continued learning, physical vitality, authentic self-expression, vibrant creativity, meaningful connection, and the ability to make positive changes at any point in your life. Remember, this stage of life isn't about slowing down and disappearing. It's about leveraging the wisdom, experience, and perspective you've gained to live a life that is authentic, fulfilling, and joyful. On your own terms. Small shifts in mindset, fueled by the truth instead of these limiting myths, can lead to incredible transformations. Don't let anyone, including that voice in your own head, tell you that you're too old for anything that brings you joy, growth, or purpose. And speaking of surprising things, remember I asked you to watch to the end for something that would surprise you. Here it is. Perhaps the most surprising truth is how deeply ingrained these myths are, not just in society, but sometimes within ourselves, and how much power we have to dismantle them simply by choosing to believe in our own potential. The surprising thing is you. Your potential isn't defined by a number. It's defined by your willingness to keep learning, keep moving, keep connecting, keep creating, and keep growing. The greatest surprise might be just how vibrant, capable, and full of possibility your life can be when you simply stop believing the lies about getting older. It's about giving yourself permission to be fully alive. Regardless of age, we'd love to hear your thoughts. Which of these myths have you encountered? Or perhaps even believed yourself? What have you done to challenge them? Share your experiences in the comments below. Your story might just inspire someone else. If this video resonated with you, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps our channel and helps this message reach more people who need to hear it. And if you want more content that challenges limiting beliefs and empowers you to live your best life at every age, make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss anything. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, age is a journey, not a destination where potential runs out. Keep exploring, keep growing, and keep living your best life at every age.